What's good, everybody? It's your boy CK2K, and we are here to talk about the newest acquisition, Mr. Trey Burke. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. I didn't drop a video about last night's highlights. Look, I'm going to be honest with you. After watching that game against the Timberwolves, the only positive that we could really take away was Tim Hardaway Jr. Tim Hardaway Jr. had a great game. He played way better than we were expecting for him to come back after that injury, especially the leg injury. We saw him get to the hoop a few times. We saw his normal transition threes, his three ball, a lot of good stuff, but at the end of the game, the defense was just too much for us. Tom Thibodeau's normal defensive play style slowed us down and led us to lose in the game once again. We saw a little bit more Ntilikina, but we need more offensive firepower outside of just KP, Hardaway, and Michael Beasley. So that's why we're going to talk about today's video. Today's video is about Trey Burke. Now, the Knicks finally let go of Ramon Sessions. Now, Scott Perry went out and said this about Ramon Sessions. He said, "We thank Ramon for being a consummate professional and providing this team with veteran leadership. He is incredibly well respected throughout the organization, and we wish him the best moving forward." Now, that's a nice way of saying we appreciate you, but Jared Jack did better than you did, and he's our new man. As you guys remember, the beginning of the season, the first game, I don't even think he made the second game. The first game of the season, Ramon Sessions was our starting point guard. Jared Jack at the time was on a two-way contract, meaning he didn't have a full year contract. And we, as you guys know, last week fully extended him for the rest of the season. And Jared Jack took over Ramon Sessions' role as the veteran leader for this team. So with all that being said, you know, there was a few moments where we did play him, but he didn't really do too much. He played a lot of garbage time, and you guys know the deal with Ramon Sessions. On the other side of things, Trey Burke was killing it on the Westchester Knicks. Trey Burke was signed late in the offseason, and we decided to send him down to our G League affiliate, the Westchester Knicks, where he was balling out. I don't know if you've seen the highlights yet. You need to check out these highlights. This guy was dropping 26 and 6 points, 5.3 assists, and 1.9 steals, shooting 48.8% from the field. 41.6 from the three-point line. Now, let me tell you something. I understand it's G League. I get that. You know, he's going to come to the NBA, and if he plays, and he might be around the 5-point range, who knows what's going to happen. But the thing is, when you see that kind of potential in the G League, you know that that is a guy that can score the basketball, which is what we need. He's a confident player from what I remember seeing him with the Westchester Knicks. So all that being said, we dropped the point guard that we weren't using for a point guard that we could possibly use. Now, here's the positives and the negatives. Let's start with the positive. The positive is we have more offensive firepower, and we also have somebody who can end the game if a situation like Frank Ntilikina is not playing well. If it's a situation where we need offense at the end with a Michael Beasley, KP, Tim Hardaway, Corny, whoever it is, we have that firepower. The probable plus with this too is he could end up being that number 9 overall pick that he was sought out to be when he was drafted. He could finally flourish. This could be the system for him. All he might have needed is a coach with that's relatively pretty solid with point guards, as we've seen in his past. And maybe the fact that he'll be playing alongside Tim Hardaway might also be a factor that could help out. A lot of those things are very slept on in the NBA when it comes to chemistry and those kind of things. That could be a big factor for this guy. Now let's get to the negatives. Trey Burke is not a great defender. He has not been. Even in college, he wasn't the greatest defender. Since he's been in the league, he hasn't been a great defender. You saw that in Utah, you saw that in Washington, and you saw that in the D League. There's a lot of times where he's playing that what I call LaMelo ball defense, where he would be there, but then when it's time to play offense, then that's when he turns it on, kind of thing. And this is what I personally think is the biggest negative of all of it. Is now I feel like we're in a bind with the point guard right now. We went from just a 2-point guard system, which is easier to do, but you have a young point guard that's still trying to figure it out, and we have a veteran point guard that's not there every single game. And now we have 3 point guards where we can work that system out, where one's not going to play as much or one might not play at all. But my concern is Frank Ntilikina's growth. The most important thing to me of all of this, if Frank Ntilikina is supposed to be our future point guard, he needs to continue to grow. He's been showing us great signs, but it's been inconsistent. We've seen a lot of games where he'd be fouling out. We've seen games where he's been sick. We've seen all these different things where it's been very inconsistent with Frank Ntilikina. And now bringing in another point guard that could possibly go in and positive best case scenario be one of our best players on this team. Just the best case. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. I'm just saying best case scenario. He's a situation to steal those minutes, and maybe Jack goes to the bench, even though he's been solid for us a I use that word very loosely, solid. It's one of those things where you have to, it's a double-edged sword where we're not going to know what's going to happen until we see Hornacek doing his his roster adjustments in his rotation. We're not going to know what's going on, but that could be very dangerous for Ntilikina and for us in the long run if this kind of stunts his growth, or maybe it'll push him to play better. But that's my opinion on this signing. Overall, I'm happy with it. As you guys know, I've been saying it for quite some videos that we need to bring in Trey Burke. I think this could be a good situation, but we'll see. The defense is a big deal, and rotation is another big deal. But let me hear what you guys have to say in the comment section below. I don't mean this to be too long. Much love, everybody. Again, sorry about the not having a video about the game last night, but I hope this video counts enough. We played against New Orleans tomorrow, and I'll talk to you guys on Monday. Much love, everybody. Peace. Trey Burke, welcome to the Knicks, baby. Welcome to the Knicks, officially. New York, not Westchester.